I am a designer, fashion designer. Uh, Mainly doing one-off pieces, so one-of-one pieces for individuals. Anything from like pretty much anything. So if somebody says make me a T-shirt, I can make them a T-shirt. If somebody says make me a suit, I'll do them a suit. So pretty much whatever they want. I test myself. Recently, I am coming out with a collection of 5 to 10 pieces, from socks to hoodies. So it would include socks, T-shirts, sweatpants, hoodies, basketball shorts, things of that nature. So it's pretty much just really just testing out everything, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. So yeah.
So yes, thank you for that great introduction of yourself, Isaac. So can you tell us can you tell us take us back before you reached the now, this present?
I guess maybe when I first started.
Yeah.
So I first started my sophomore year of college, and it wasn't even clothes. It was more so blogging. So after I stopped pursuing basketball, I was like, all right, I need to figure out what I actually want to do, you know. And I was scrolling through Instagram, came across a guy named Ian Gallagher. And he was blogging, traveling, all that stuff. I thought I wanted to do that, but about 2 years in, I was like, all right, I really don't want to do this, because there was a lot of posting on Instagram, trying to be happy and it's cheery and stuff. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I actually want to create a business, have employees. That's what I want to do. I don't want to freelance myself out to people all the time. So I stopped doing that, and I did study abroad to Rome, Italy. And before I went, I was like, all right, I want to do this fashion thing. So I went to Rome. My home state mom, her friend was a fashion designer herself, so she taught me how to draw and everything. The goal of going to Rome was really to find manufacturers and just see the fashion scene there. But I was still in the ideation process, so I was just drawing up a bunch of designs. I probably had 10 different designs I was drawing up, probably more than that. Probably 10 I actually wanted to choose from. And after I came back, I was like, all right, I want to actually make something. So when I came back in December, I waited all the way till the following August. Was it 2019 August? Yeah, 2019 August, and was like, all right, Mom. My mom made clothes. She used to make dresses. She actually used to have her own business, making wedding dresses. So she would make the dresses. Her and her friend would make the dresses. Somebody else would do the makeup and the hair and the flowers and all that stuff. So she knew how to sew. So I was like, all right, Mom, can you teach me how to sew? She was like, all right. So we went to the fabric store, bought some fabric. I got denim. I got denim and linen. The linen was had old white stripes going down the side, going down vertically down all the fabric. The denim was this dark, I guess, indigo color, maybe. So we got the fabric. My mom taught me how to look through the pattern book and find a pattern that I wanted to make anything I wanted. Got the pattern, got the thread, taught me how to thread the sewing machine, and I was sewing. It was a long process. The first ever thing I made was a shirt jacket with it was a denim shirt jacket with this really big collar and these patch pockets, so 2 patch pockets on the side and on the chest. And if you look inside, the jacket is terribly done. It's all irregular and everything. But it's decent for my first piece. The pants, actually, the linen pants, the linen fabric became pants later. But after that jacket, that was the first thing that got me started. I made that, and then right after I did that, I just texted some people in my contacts, was like, all right, so do you want something custom? And people were like, yeah, I want something custom. And I stopped at 2 people because I was like, all right, if it took me 2 to 3 months to finish the jacket, it's gonna take me way longer to finish something for somebody else. So I was like, all right, let me just get these 2 people. And I made a coat for the one girl, and then I didn't ever get to the other guy because it took me too long to do everything. And I actually ended up making that same shirt jacket twice for 2 of my friends, but the fabric that they wanted was different. They wanted what do they want? It was a black pinstripe wool shirt with a satin lining, a white and black satin lining. If you go on my Instagram, it's on there. But it was pretty nice. It's very light, so it's like literally like a shirt, but it's like a jacket as well. You can throw it over another shirt. But that's sort of how I got started, and I was kind of following like Dapper Dan with the whole what a one piece thing, because in fashion, when you want to come out with something, even if you want to just come out with a t-shirt, you need to go to a manufacturer, or if you want to do wholesale. If you do wholesale, you need to make some stuff yourself or find somebody else to make the stuff. But that could be expensive because they'll ask you for an MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity. So if you want just a t-shirt, they'll say these t-shirts are $10 a piece. So you need to order a minimum, the MOQ, a minimum of say 50 to 100, right? And you order 100 shirts for $10, that's $1,000 easily. And I didn't have $1,000, right? And I didn't have money to waste on t-shirts, just t-shirts alone. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just have to make people one-on-one stuff, which works because people always want something custom, right? Nobody really wants to look like the next person, or if they do it, they always want to reiterate it in a different way so they can say they look better than the next person. Also, too, I noticed that like when people want something custom, their price is like infinite. Like the way business works for me is like the way I get customers is like I'll say, hey, my name is Isaac, I make clothes. They're like, oh, you make clothes? Make me something. That's it. That's the conversation. Like there's no price involved. There's no like, and then after that I'll say, okay, what do you want? Like you want this, and this. Recently, more people have just been saying, oh, just like you think of it, like come up with an idea, and I'm like, all right. So that's like a harder thing because now I got to draw something up, send them like at least 3 different designs. Like, all right, which one you want? They're like, all right, I don't want any of this. I'm like, okay, all right. Now I got to draw another 3, right? But it's a little easier when people, say have an idea what they want, and I take from that, and then I can add on or subtract from, So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started.
And where do you see yourself within the future?
So I would say probably within like the next 5 to 10 years, maybe I would say in the next 5 years. I really haven't thought about it that far yet. My end goal is really to have like a parent company, so like to own other smaller fashion companies. But so I guess I haven't thought that far, but the process to those steps hasn't been well thought out. I guess in the next 5 years, definitely a successful online business. In the next 10 years, maybe a storefront. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just trying to take it one day at a time because it's like so much to do like right now. It's like I have projects to last me throughout the entire year. Like I'm trying to not take anything else, but it's like hard because like my mom will say, oh my son, he makes clothes and stuff, he's doing this one. And then people from church like, oh, you do X, Y, and Z, and like then they want something. I'm like, all right. Like I started telling people like before the pandemic, if you want something, you're not getting it till next year. Like so think about it. So if you want something in November, you're not getting it till next November pretty much, because that's how many orders I had. But yeah, it's like I think for the future I just having like employees. That's the first thing. Having like employees, having people that actually sew for me. And I want to still split the 2 custom. So like sort of how Gucci does now. They have Dapper Dan on their staff, so he does their whole custom one-of-one stuff. It has its own little flavor to it. But then also to the ready to wear stuff. And then like not just ready to wear, but like how Polo, like how Ralph Lauren does it. They have like a blue label, black label, purple label, stuff like that. It's like say like one label would be just like sweatpants, hoodies, t-shirts, shorts, all that stuff, socks, and then the upper once you go up it's like polo shirts, sweaters, turtlenecks, suits, that sort of thing. So like just a range of different stuff, but it's still kind of like cohesive. So if you wanted to wear shorts with your blazer, and then you wanted to wear another custom thing that you got, you can do all that stuff. So it should be able to still be like work together. Like you shouldn't like a t-shirt shouldn't be quality H&M, and then the sweater be like Gucci, and then the custom thing the custom thing be like Valentino, right? It shouldn't be so, you know. Yeah, so different, right?
And can you tell us about like your educational background and stuff like? Did that impact your now?
Yes and no. Yes, because I would say no because I never felt like I really learned much in school. Like it kind of just was like going through the motions. I kind of like was set straight in about 6th grade because I was acting up, wasn't doing my work, and the principal she had to meet with me inside the 7th grade classroom and was like, do you want to go back to 5th grade? In 5th grade, I got suspended in 5th grade, so I wasn't trying to get that teacher again, and I wasn't trying to leave my friends. So I was like, all right, I was like, no, I don't want to get left back. Had my mom been after me, and I would have been in 5th grade again. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to go back to 5th grade, get left back. So I was like, all right, let me just like figure out how to get through school. So like I figured basically like I could still be a class clown, but I can't be much of a class clown. I was like, I gotta at least do my work. So the first semester and a half, I would do my work. After that, like, I just did whatever I wanted, you know. I still was doing my work, but I was like, what was it, 8th grade? I could walk around with like my shoes off, like, you know, we was eating snacks in class, like, I was still cracking jokes, but like the teachers knew that Isaac was going to get his work done, so they didn't really bug me as much. So I just like did that throughout high school. So like even in high school it got easier. I was like, all right, I got the system down. It's like do my work these semesters. After that, I can pretty much do whatever. I can get away with murder basically in classroom.
Well, you didn't though.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't kill anybody. No, this is not a confession. Yeah. No. So yeah, but yeah, and I think like too is no. Yes, as in school helped because I realized what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be, I guess, like stuck in the system of go to school, get a degree, get a job, retire, and then you die. I was like, all right, I do want to go to school, like have that experience, but at the same time, I want to have my own business. I didn't, really want to go through that natural system that we all go through. So, yeah.
And how have your But yeah, so how have your family impacts you?
Probably my mom because she used to sew. So she started her own business in like the fashion industry. So I would say yeah, that. And then like my parents just not like restricting me. Like they never said like, oh shoot. So like my parents never restricted me, so they never was like, oh, you should do X, Y, and Z. You need to do this, you need to do that. They didn't like even now they don't say like, oh, you need to find a job. Like my mom, like I had a job, it was door-to-door sales, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that, so I just quit. But my mom has never been like, oh, you need to go work or something. You're not gonna be sleeping like just living here doing nothing. So like I am doing stuff. It's not making a ton of money, but it's like my mom has never been like, oh, you need to hurry up, She's always kind of like, even my dad, they just like let me take my time and figure out what I want to do.
So how has that benefit your creative being?
I guess like just because they kind of let me do my own thing, it's like they just like leave me alone. I think it's like as long as they know I'm doing something, like, and I guess it's good, like just like a parenting lesson I'll take too when I have kids. It's like maybe your kid's not necessarily they're not the most successful, but it's like sometimes if somebody is on a clear path to somewhere, they're trying to make something of themselves. It's just not the way you might want it to look. They kind of just let them do their thing. It's like I'm not, like selling drugs, not like in jail, not like sleeping around, doing nothing all day. If anything, I probably work more than somebody doing a regular 9 to 5. So like usually I'll usually wake up at 6, do my devotions and everything, pray. I probably start around 12. I won't stop sewing around 12 a.m., 1 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m. So, yeah, and then do the same thing the next day. So it's like, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what could you tell your past, if like now? What could you tell your past, and what do you want to tell your future? But first, let's do the past first.
It would have been a lot of stuff. I probably would have told my past self, I would have told my past self like hustle a lot more, because I was really trying to play basketball. I was really trying to play, like if somebody like handed me a contract to go overseas, I probably would take it, like drop everything and just like do that. So I probably would tell my younger self just like, one, go on social media, look up like different workouts and stuff to do to play basketball. But two, figure out like what do you see yourself doing in the next 40 to 50 years. So like people are my age or a little younger, I ask them like, what do they want to do for 40 years of your life? Because most people, they work till they're 65. So if you're 20, you're working for 45 years of your life. But people don't put it in perspective of like 40 years. They just like, oh, I'm gonna get a job and that's it. But like you gotta be, regardless of what job you get, you're gonna be working until you're 65, 70. So for me, I would have told my younger self like, I really don't really care what you do. Well, sort of, kind of, but figure out what it is you want to do for 45 years of your life. Like put that in perspective. Like, what do you really want to do? Like I knew I wanted to do entrepreneurship like since 7th grade, but I didn't know what business I wanted to have. I thought I wanted to have a gym. I thought I wanted to start a school. I thought I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. All these different ideas, but none of them was like clicking. And which is like also to like say why school really didn't help, because like school you just like put in a funnel and it's like everybody learns the same thing, but not everybody learns the same way or is even interested in the same thing. So it's like if I were to start a school, I would probably skip all the math, the reading, all that stuff. I mean, obviously you need some type of math and reading, but like then it would just go into helping kids like figuring out what they're interested in. So like if a kid is like good at drawing, and then I think too like sometimes we take things that people are good at and say you should be doing this. But like if you're good at accounting, doesn't necessarily mean you want to do accounting. Like I can be great at sales, but I don't like sales at all. So I think it's like just like probably telling myself like what do you do on a daily basis that gives you enjoyment. So like when I was younger, I would go on websites and like pick I'll go on like Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, and like put together items for like less than $100, because I was on a budget. I didn't have more than $100 usually. So I would go on there all the time, and I would go on Gucci and Louis Vuitton all the time, just look up like their collections and everything. So I was interested in fashion a long time ago, but it just didn't really click till I got to college. So I would just like tell myself like, just figure out like what it is that you like gravitate towards. So yeah.
That's okay. Now about your future.
My future self. I don't know. I feel like if I told my future self something, it'd be like, my future self would be like, what are you talking about? Like, go somewhere. But I would tell my future self, tell my future self, one, like, just be patient. Figure out, like, what it is that you, I guess like really sit down with yourself and like figure out what it is that you want to do or where you see yourself, and then ask yourself like, or picture yourself in that situation. Say if it planned out this way, is this what you would want? Because I think what I realized this when I got to college, like it was stuff that I wanted, like stuff I wanted to buy, but once I got it, it was like that's it, you just got it. And so it's like this never ending cycle of keep chasing stuff, right? So if you want money, if you want fame, if you want success, if you want, you know, a nice wife or something like that, like people want, you know, attractive partners, it's like you get these things and it's like that's it, that's where it stops at. Because once you get money, the next thing to do is just get more of it. But you can't have all the money in the world, and even if you did, you would still be looking for other things. So it's like this never ending cycle of like unhappiness. But if it's like purpose involved, say like you get money to give away, or maybe it's just a competition for you, then you know, then do that. But I would say like to my future self, just like figure out what it is you actually want to do, like what your purpose is for doing these things. Don't just like aimlessly do something. Like don't just make clothes just to make clothes and make money. Like actually, like that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. It's like, well, what's the reason? Like what's the community I'm like building here? Like and when I put these clothes on somebody, like what is it doing for them? Is just another cool collection, or is it actually like I resonate with this, you know, with this thing? I actually like it means something to me. So yeah.
That's really good. Can you tell us about a product that you have with you that is like, is it new or what is it?
So a project, like a new project?
The one that you have with you.
Oh yeah. So the one I have right now is I guess I forgot I'm being recorded.
They can't see it here, bro.
Oh yeah. So it says Inspiration Strikes. Yeah, so it says Inspiration Strikes, and on the back it has a light bulb with butterflies in it and a net.
Can you tell us like what it means and stuff?
So this is a collection from my brother and his wife in Tennessee. So they have like this they have like an art business. So they basically get like a venue, rent it out, and have a bunch of creatives there and show off their artwork, show off their artistic talent. So like anywhere from artists to like musicians to like people maybe like do there's a bunch of stuff. So they have art on their website, but they want to make clothes now. So saying all that, when I say Inspiration Strikes on the hoodie, you know, inspiration strikes for a creative, right? They get an idea, they write it down, or you know, they act on it, right? So but before they do all that, when you do get inspiration, sometimes people put it off, say, oh, I'll do that later, because maybe you might be taking a shower, or you might be on a train, or you might be hanging out with some friends and you get an idea. But a lot of times we just think of it and we don't write it down, or if we do write it down, we don't act on it later. And so with the light bulb, it's like you get that idea, but you know, like butterflies and stuff, like you gotta catch it. So with the butterfly being on the back inside the light bulb, that the light bulb is the idea, but you know, the butterflies they're still flying around. The idea is still like flying around, but until you actually catch it with the net, it's still just an idea just floating in space and time. So if you got an idea, you gotta write it down, then you gotta act on it. So that's sort of like when inspiration strikes, basically you gotta catch it.
Okay, that's really deep. That's really is, and I think you're for it too.
Right? Yeah. So pretty much the whole collection is like that. So another sweater says "create" on the bottom of it and going around towards the back, and then on the back of the sweater is a painting known as "The Creation of Adam." So if you Google it, you'll see basically like the image of God extending his hand out to another man to the left of him, and the man is Adam. So it's basically like a depiction of God creating Adam. So like for creatives, like how God created Adam, it's like, so I guess like you could say like in the Bible it says He created man, and the man was an image of an image of God. So basically, like as an artist, when you do create something, it's sort of it's an extension of you. So it's like the same thing. I guess not saying we are God, but same time how God created Adam. As creators, we do create something, and that creation is an extension of us. And then just some of the stuff like I like recently, just like some socks are in the collection, some basketball shorts, like these leopard print basketball shorts in the collection. And then it's a T-shirt. T-shirt says creativity on the back, and on the front is elevator buttons, like going up. So basically, like to represent my cousin, also to me and myself, and my brother and his wife, like are starting our businesses where you just like keep going up. So you start from the ground floor and keep going up, elevating in your creative process. So.
That's good. And can you tell us your handle?
So my handle is Isaac Breese, ISAAC BREESE. Doesn't really matter, lowercase, uppercase, no underscores. For the fashion page, it is Stitched. So STITCHED by BY Isaac ISAAC.
This will also be posted underneath the link as well too. I will link it as well. All right, so that's good. And what is one word you could give to the audience and so forth for when about just like what's your inspirational words to them?
Yeah. I would say. So, I guess it's a difficult. I guess it's a hard and easy question because I can just like speak out like like love or like like success or like I don't know motivation, but it's like I feel like as a creative it's like a lot deeper than that, and two is like just be more practical. Everybody just spits out words and it's like you take hold of those things, but it kind of like just mean nothing. People keep saying the same thing, so I would just like say like for creatives or just for anybody, like just like listen, just because, and not just like listen because like you might be like listening to this podcast, or this interview, and you could be driving, but you'll have to play that back later, and it's like, well, were you really listening? Like do we listen to our audiences? When somebody's like say like with their parents, are you like really listen to your parents? Like do you take that advice and like actually put in the application? Like so as a creative, it's like listen as in when you put out something, see what the response is from your audience, and then take that and make changes on it. Don't just like put out something and if it don't work, just say, oh, I gotta make something else, because it might not be that your product or creativity or what you put out is trash. It might just be you made it for a different audience. Like people buy Toyotas, don't buy Teslas for a reason. That's not people who buy Teslas. That's not the Toyota's marketing people, and vice versa. Like the person who's going to buy a Lamborghini won't buy a Benz because that's not the audience that they're they're attracted to. So pretty much just like listen to everything around you. Even like when you're gaining your inspiration, you could get inspiration just from everything. Like, and listen just doesn't have to be like with your ears. It could be with your eyes as well. Just like taking everything in.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for allowing us to be able to have this interview. It's a great pleasure to have Isaac Breese with us, and we hopefully will get to see more of you in the future. And to everybody out there, I hope you're inspired by such a young man who is inspiring, and he has such great background. And so forth. He has dreams and aspiration, and he continue to fight for that. And so hopefully this inspire you, and we need to know like the time is now to make a move and to do what you really want to do, and so forth. Like chase that dream and listen, as Isaac said,